Azure winning, he led the entire process of investigating this matter, shining the light on this contract or this agreement, which has been terminated now. He's joining us on Zoom. Manasseh, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Fred, and thanks for having me.
That's the response of Evatex to the decision by the Ghana Airports Company Limited to terminate this agreement after your expose. They say that they've given the Ghana Airports 7 days from today to restore the contract, or else they will go to court to retrieve the $64.6 million that they have invested already in this agreement.
Well, it sounds very ridiculous and strange at the same time to think that this company, which appeared to be so dormant prior to this contract, suddenly thinks or wants Ghanaians to believe that it had $64 million to invest in this shady agreement. It will interest you to note that in our report, we discovered when we wrote to Senate to find out how many workers this company had registered and were paying as Senate. The 3 years prior to this contract, in 2022, Senate recorded 0 employees. 2023, 0 employees. The first 4 months of 2024, that's the year they won the contract, 0 employees. And at the time this company was given the contract, it had only 1 employee. And we have evidence that when it finally got the contract, it used the SML workers. We also have evidence from the documents this company submitted to the GACL for the contract. And this is the tax clearance certificate, which showed that for 3 consecutive years, this company recorded 0 turnover. This company recorded 0 chargeable income. And in the year it won the contract, 2024, it was assessed and its tax liability amounted to 2,000 Ghana cedis. 2,000 Ghana cedis, out of which it paid 1,000 cedis. And this is the company that wants Ghanaians to believe that just after winning this contract, it was able to get $64 million to invest. It will be interesting if the airport company is able to tell us what investment they know that this company has put in place. $64 million is not like 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Absolutely.
If it is equipment, if it is software, if it is hardware, the company should prove. And note that this is a sister company of SML. This company is actually a mining company. At the time it won the contract, it didn't have revenue assurance auditing as part of its services. It went to the Registrar General or Registrar of Companies to add those to its object of business or its principal activity 3 months after winning the contract. We also wrote to the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana, and the institute said that, look, if any company or individual wants to hold itself or himself or herself up as offering services in revenue assurance auditing, it must be registered with the Institute of Chartered Accountants Ghana. It must be licensed. And we asked specifically, is Evatex registered? No. Is SML registered? No. And the institute said if any company or individual does these services without a license, they would be subjected to a fine, a prison sentence, or both if found guilty. So this is a company that should be facing prosecution as we speak. And they have the guts to want to do this. And a lot of things went on with this contract.
I see. But Manasseh, as you indicated, it will be for them. They have the burden to prove, indeed, that they have invested $64.6 million between December 4 and the set date that this contract was terminated or this agreement was terminated. But they're asking questions of the Ghana Airports Company Limited. Apart from Paul Adomotri, who has been invited for questioning, who else has a burden of also answering questions about this particular deal?
The CEO of Evatex has a burden of answering how it was involved in this. His company was involved, and I'm talking about Evans Eduse, who also owns SML. We have the PPA led by Frank Mante, who is the CEO, because a lot of things went wrong in the procurement process. Procurement laws were breached, and it was so blatant and obvious that this company did not qualify to even get a contract through single source procurement. But the PPA shut its eyes to obvious anomalies and granted approval. So Frank Mante, who has the PPA, should be answering questions. Apart from Paul Adomotri, the next key figure, or that could even be the main key figure, is the managing director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, Mrs. Yvonne Opari. And I'm saying this because she signed the contract. I'm saying this because besides being the managing director, she's also a board member. And we are told, Paul Adomotri hasn't denied this, that Paul Adomotri brought this company to the board. And the CEO said she first met this company or representatives of the company at the board meeting. So she's a board member and also the MD. The board played a role, the MD played a role. She signed a contract. She wrote the PP to the PPA for approval, for the single source approval. She signed that letter. She signed the letter accepting the proposal from Evatex. And so she's involved in a number of things, and even a critical look at the documents would suggest that this contract was perhaps signed after the general election, but backdated. And I'm saying this because she minuted the letter to the head of procurement on the 11th of December. And the instruction was to acknowledge and proceed with the award letter. The head of procurement receives this letter on the 12th and proceeds to write this award letter, which the MD signs. And guess what? A letter which is written based on a December 11th instruction is dated December 5th. And the contract that is awarded after that is also dated December 4th. So if you look at all of this, we have the signatures of the managing director in this document. So it is only fair for her to be called to account for her role. And I have information that tomorrow, Wednesday, she will appear at the office of the special prosecutor. She was supposed to have appeared yesterday, Monday, but my sources tell me it was rearranged. And so Mrs. Yvonne Opari will appear at the office of the special prosecutor. We wait to see what happens when she does appear.
It's a very interesting information. It's one that we'll keep tabs on as well. That the Ghana Airports Company Limited managing director is expected to appear before the also special prosecutor tomorrow, or to report to the office special prosecutor tomorrow. And I know that this is one as well that you are keeping the steam on. Apart from her, any indication of the other persons that you say should be answering questions, OSP having any interest in those other persons as well, the PPA boss and then the Evatex CEO that you reference? Maybe quickly before we go.
Well, the information I have is that they've been invited for questioning. Before Paul Adomotri was invited, I have information that the PPA CEO was invited and sent a letter, a response. And also, I'm told the CEO of Evatex was also invited, and he had earlier been invited and arrested in connection with the SML scandal, which is also being investigated by the Office of the Special Prosecutor.
Manasseh, appreciate your time on this. I thank you so much for this detail, and I know we'll definitely connect again. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Manasseh Azure, when he is an investigative journalist, he led the process of investigating this botched Evatex Ghana Airports Company Limited deal, for which the lawyers of Evatex have just written to the Ghana Airports Company Limited to restore the contract, or else that's within 7 days, or else they'll be faced with a court action. Stay with us.